Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJ Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is November 3rd, 2023. We're going to come up on 4 years of our community fairly soon, and it has been a miracle, a beautiful, powerful, comforting miracle that we have found each other across the world. We started this community 3.5 years ago, March 18th of 2020, because there was no other way for us to find each other, and now we have found each other. We are present together, and we say good morning. We check in. We take care of our people. We take care of people, and we see each other, acknowledging the worth and the love and the possibilities of a day. So let's see who's here. We can start together. Deborah, Boker Tov, it's good to see you. Barry and Lisa, Adrian, Boker Tov. Hi, Chana. Deborah, nice to see you. I'm looking up at Instagram, looking straight ahead at Facebook. Deborah and Joyce, Boker Tov friends, it's good to see all of you. Linda, hello, kind friend. Fabrice, sending love to Paris. Hope that you are well. See where everyone is. If you want to check in and say where you are in our community right now, physically in the world, it would be beautiful to see you, to say hello to you by name. Shabbat Shalom, Judy and Sharon, Stan, Amy and Minna, Boker Tov, Natalie and Joyce. Hi, Robin. Nice to see you. Hi, Tamar. All right, friends, let's take a breath. We're going to sing a blessing for learning. Learn some Torah. David in New York saying hi. And Tara, you're in New Jersey. Good to see you. Erica, good morning. Caroline, hi. Hi, my friend. Barry and Glenda. Zoya in Germany, good to see you. Shabbat Shalom to you, my friend. It's good to know that we are together all over the world. Deborah is in New York City. Arlene, thank you for reminding us it's broadcast 919. Tune in every day, most of the time at 9 o'clock, and we will be present together to share love and to share meaning and to be present. So, let's take a breath, sing a blessing, learn some Torah, and strengthen Am Yisrael. Hi, Jennifer. I see you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. תדעי עלי לי לי לי, תדעי עלי לי לי Good morning, everyone. There's a lot to share, and what I don't want to leave behind is the sweetness of us bringing the hyper-local, very personal moments. Of course, everything is personal right now, but to see that tomorrow is Arlene's father's 45th yahrzeit tomorrow, and that's why you're chanting Haftorah in shul. And Barbara, it's your mother's yahrzeit tonight. May her memory be for a blessing. We are present in this very important and hyper-local individual way. We are part of a collective people, and the only way for us to show up as a people is to be present as the people that we are. Fabrice, you're standing next to the Eiffel Tower, sharing our Torah at a significant landmark. May that beacon be an amplification of our prayers. May our children be freed. May they come home. So I want to offer this Torah, which, again, is filtered through the intense experience of having just been in Israel on UJA's rabbinic solidarity mission. My heart is in all of this, and yours are too. Amy, may your mother's memory be for blessing. Her 17th yahrzeit is tonight. I wanted to share a few different things and then teach some Torah. Number one is I am in touch with John and Rachel Goldberg-Levin, Hirsch Goldberg-Levin's parents. They have been part of a movement with all of the other families of hostages to bring their children, their grandparents, our sisters, our brothers, our teachers, our friends, our neighbors home. There are 241, we now know, hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza. That includes Jewish and Christian and Muslim hostages from within Israel, from 33 nations. Citizens of 33 nations are being held hostage, and we cannot leave them behind. The families have asked us to circulate a campaign called Bring Them Home Now, 1 minute a day, which is part of what we now call a mosquito campaign, to give little bites every day to our elected officials to make sure that their attention does not waver. The narrative around Israel's necessary war against Hamas, the narrative is changing, and we have a responsibility to keep the world's attention and our own focused. I'm wearing this ribbon on my shirt, which is in solidarity with the state of Israel in support of our sisters and brothers, and I'm wearing, well, this necklace you might have seen. It has my children's names on it. My wife gave that to me when we got married, and I'm wearing this because these are our children's names too. In Hebrew, this necklace says, Halev Shalanu Shavui Ba'aza, our hearts are captive in Gaza, and then in English, bring them home now. They ran out of these in Israel. People have been asking me for one, and we'll see if we're able to make some more. Please God, we shouldn't need them. Caroline, yes, the number of hostages is 241. 4 hostages were released. Older women who are being held hostage were released, and I brought home with me Yisrael Hayom, the daily, with a picture of Uri, young woman who Israel rescued, not released, rescued. I brought it home because I need to be holding her. She looks just like my daughters. There are a million things to say, friends, and I hope that we can keep our spirits up so that I can share a little bit more, and then let's learn some Torah, and then we'll sing, and then we'll get ready for Shabbos. No one takes Shabbos away from the Jewish people. No one takes our hearts. Our hearts may be captive, but that just means that we are united even in the darkness. We are stronger together. We are necessary together. And because of the work of UJA, who has an emergency board meeting happening in 21 minutes to allocate even more funds on the ground in Israel, more than $39 million already has been distributed to people and organizations on the ground in need, in harm's way, who have been hurt. We have raised over $130 million thanks to your work. I've been proud to be part of that with a small contribution of my own, an anthology of essays, poems, and prayers called Am Yisrael Chai. So far, it's raised $2,000 for our Emergency Israel campaign, and it contains contributions from all over the world of poems, prayers, and essays. It's not an easy read. It's a book of painful and important testimony. The artwork was done by a wonderful artist friend named Joanne Fink. You can find this on Amazon, and I hope that you will support us in all the ways that you can. This Monday is the Shloshim, is the 30-year marker since the terrible, terrible pogrom inside the borders of the state of Israel, perpetrated by Hamas, and we are marking it in public. This Monday, gates will open at 4 o'clock, and the event will begin at 5:30 in New York City. Please come back to our Facebook page, and you can find all the information for that. It's being coordinated by UJA and the JCRC of New York. I know I sound like a non-stop talking points list, but these are not talking points. These are the texts of our hearts right now. Am Yisrael Chai is our promise. The Shloshim is how we mark time. The fund is how we show up for our families, and calling our elected officials for 1 minute every day as a habit, is a commitment we make to ritualize our people's dignity and our united hearts. So, what I would like to do right now is teach a little bit of Torah and then sing a little bit, strengthen our hearts, and get ready for Shabbos. This is Parshat Vayera, and Vayera is the Torah portion in the book of Genesis with the binding of Isaac, and it's always too painful to read, but it is absolutely too painful to read. Let me answer one quick question. Deborah, there is a concert featuring many artists, including my amazing wife, Neshama Karlibach, this Saturday night at Romamu. You can find tickets. Go to Romamu's website and you'll find them there. There's also a solidarity concert happening at Westchester Jewish Center that Neshama is running herself with the Westchester Jewish Council. That's Sunday night. So, friends, back to Torah. And then back to music in our hearts. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, Parshat Vayera. The binding of Isaac is really, really hard. And the introduction tells us that it's actually even harder than we think. It says, Vayehi achar hadvarim ha'ele, veha Elohim nisa et Avram. And after these things, God tested Avraham. After these things, doesn't that tell you so much? We've already been through so much. And after those things, Vayehi achar hadvarim ha'ele, which gently you could say is once upon a time, but it's not once upon a time, it's later. Think about movies or shows that have a screen that says later. You know that something just happened, something significant. We've already been through so much. Now I'm looking at us. We've already been through so much. Too much. It's been too much. And then October 7th. I'm not combining the pogrom with the binding of Isaac. That's not healthy, it's not accurate, it's not authentic. But I want to share that the text in the Torah, Veha Elohim Nisat Avraham, God tested Abraham, has been a source of incredible controversy in terms of interpretation. What does it mean? God tested Abraham. First of all, that could be a signal, charitable readers of the text say, that there was never going to be a sacrifice of Isaac. That was just a test. I mean, I have a lot to say to a God who would test people like that, or to people who would test people like that. So I'm going to leave that behind. Maybe it was a hint to Abraham that it was never going to be commanded really. That's a little bit more compassionate, but still too cruel, because what about Isaac? This is a test of Abraham? What about Isaac? Isaac's selfhood is never acknowledged in the story. He has a voice. He says, here is the knife and the fire. Where is the sacrifice? He knows the right question. And let me ask it in our own moment. Oh, the sacrifice. And then the commentators offer different ideas. And you can look this up in many places. I'm sorry to not cite who says what, but it's a jumble a little bit. I was in Israel for 55 hours, touching the trauma of our people, feeling the strength of our people, traveling nonstop, and certainly not sleeping. And so all of this is swirling. The biblical text and our mythic moment that we're actually in. Hearing Am Yisrael Chai from the time of Soviet Jewry, where my father-in-law wrote the anthem for the solidarity with Soviet Jewry movement. And here we are, singing it again. I'm feeling all of it, friends. Golda Meir's government and Yom Kippur, our moment on October 7th, Simchat Torah. So one interpretation is God was just testing Avram. The other one is Avraham knew that it was going to just be a test. Either way, it's still not okay. Here's another one. Veha Elohim nisa et Avram. The word nisa, which means to test, also midrashically means the word nes, which is a way of saying a banner, waving. The way we conduct ourselves, now I'm making it perfectly present, The way we conduct ourselves under stress is a model for the world, because it seems that for a few days after a pogrom where 1,400 plus Israelis were murdered, by the way, not just Israelis, not just Jews, people from the Philippines who came to do service work, and within the Jewish Israeli community, peacemakers, and within the Arab Israeli community, ambulance drivers. These are human beings, all of them representing the diversity of humanity. But as a Jew, whatever happens in the state of Israel, that is personal. I didn't include, thank you, Deborah, the Japanese and Thai citizens who were also murdered. How we conduct ourselves, and I don't mean what I already believe to be true, which is Israel's attempts to spare the lives of citizens, of civilians. The world might not know how much we mean that, but if there were no concern for civilians, Israel would have very different tactics when trying to bomb Hamas. There would be no regard for civilians. Thank you, Joanne, for making sure I mentioned the Nepalese citizens as well. I don't want to leave anyone behind in my heart's concern, because that's what it is to be a Jew in the world, and to be a Jew when war is mandated in the world. The moral necessity of this war is ugly. But even uglier, if there is such a thing, is the world's growing disregard for Jewish lives. I had someone, Dr. Michal Biton, who's a religious leader in Manhattan of a phenomenal community and scholar in residence at the Shalom Hartman Institute, gave a talk about a week ago defending the students at NYU, saying it seems like believe all women is what we say until, is what the world says until the woman who has been assaulted, raped, murdered. It seems, says Dr. Biton, that feminism has a limit, and it's when the woman being attacked is a Jew. Because that happened on October 7th. And please God, may everyone who is being held hostage not be subject to such inhumanity. How we hold ourselves right now, the dignity and the ferociousness that we must demonstrate as a Jewish community, the unity we must not let go of, the absolute support for Israel as it works its stuff out. The protest movement, people thought was going to divide the nation, but it turns out the protest movement is the only thing holding the nation together right now, because the government has not been functioning the way a government must. All of the organizing efforts of the protest leaders have now been used to mobilize people to save our sisters and brothers in the south of Israel, to help pop up JCCs and communities happen, to help tent communities be built right in Eilat, which is now being called an Ir Miklat, a city of refuge, a biblical term. When God raised up Avraham and all of Avraham's children as a model, as a banner, oh, please let it not be us every time who's raised up as a banner. But we read the binding of Isaac, we read our text, and we know that we don't get a choice about that. So here's the question. Will you show up? Will you call your elected officials? Will you show up? Will you take care of your heart as you show up? Will you take care of your rabbis, as so many of you have been taking care of me, as we try to show up over and over? Will you write and will you read? Will you sing? Will you chant? Will you promise Am Yisrael Chai? Will you support the work of UJA to save our world? Will you see the faces of your own children when our children are the ones on the line? Will you remember that the test of Yitzchak requires that we listen to his voice? Yitzchak's name might be Hirsch today, Hirsch Goldberg Levin, and it's been 28 days since he was taken. In his name, in 241 hostages' names, and we should know all of them. When you make challah this Shabbos, hold our children, hold our grandparents. when you go to shul this Shabbos, and go to shul this Shabbos. We need you there. Hold your own heart and hold our people's heart. Say Kaddish because we must. Say Amen because we can. Am Yisrael Chai is a promise. And I shared earlier this week, and I'll close with this memory. When I was just in Israel, among the moments that will stand out for the rest of my life was sitting next to a survivor from the Shoah named Rena Quint. Incredibly powerful human being. So passionate and eloquent. She shared her own experiences and talked about new survivors. And it's one thing if I say that. It's another thing. It's another thing for us to know, Judy just said it, that with a Kristallnacht commemoration tomorrow in Shul, that we actually have new survivors now. And our Shoah survivors who have lived long enough to witness this moment must be supported, because this is triggering for them their direct memories, and for so many of us, their descendants and their students, the ones who love them. This is creating an incredible epigenetic trauma-triggered mental and emotional and spiritual sadness. And we have to show up with fierceness, which means we need to make a promise. So I'm asking you to make a promise right now. I'm serious. I'm pushing you to do two things. First one, Deborah on Instagram just said to me, breathe. She encouraged me, so I'm going to listen. I'm going to breathe. And Deborah is encouraging all of us, and I'm doing it for her too. You have to breathe and take care of yourself. Go to the gym, have something hot to drink, sleep. You're allowed to watch things that make you laugh. You're allowed to celebrate. Yonatan Peretz, a young chayal, a young soldier, got married last week. You're allowed to get married. You're allowed to have a bar mitzvah, as my son did 3 weeks ago. You're allowed. So breathe. That's one promise. Here's the other. Make a promise. Am Yisrael Chai. That's a promise. That's why it matters. That's why it's a song. That's why it's the name of our book. Make a promise that you will do your part in building up the life force of our people. We have a lot of rebuilding to do. That's true. So get involved in building. Build. Build this world from love. Give and give and give yourself and others and the world. Am Yisrael Chai. We are alive. We will remain alive. We will fight for our lives because we have a gift to give the world. So, friends, among the sweet souls that are with us is my dear friend Noah Aronson, who just joined us on Instagram. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Noah. And I really hope that the song that Noah created in response to what's going on connected with a poet who wrote it to him. And I hope that that is something you'll hear soon, because there are countless creative voices that are giving us the life force that we need. Now I want to honor you. Friends, if you don't know Noah Aronson's music, go look him up. This one's mine, but I really like yours. We're getting ready for Shabbos, everybody. Take a breath. Light candles tonight. Take care of yourself. Connect with other people. Call someone in Israel and say Shabbat Shalom. They need to hear it. And your voice matters, so give what you've got. Olam chesed yibameh, yada da da da. Olam chesed yibameh. Olam chesed yivamne. Olam chesed yivamne. Olam chesed. Olam chesed yivamne. Olam chesed yivamne. Olam chesed yivamne. Olam chesed yivamne. Make a promise. I will build this world from love. You must, and you must build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Shabbat Shalom, friends. May it be a Shabbat that brings more peace, more heart, more love, and a little bit more spirit. Shabbat Shalom. See you on Monday, friends. Shabbat Shalom. Bye. Take care, everyone.